listeners.
Live from Lincoln and broadcasting across the state of Nebraska, it's the Average Joe Sports Show. This is the place for Husker sports with the biggest names, the best interviews, and all the inside scoops.
I got a front row seat with a big tub of buttered popcorn and a greasy half-live chicken leg.
Now, here are your hosts, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbel.
Welcome to it. Weekend edition is here with the Average Joe Sports Show. Chris Schmidt, Bill Doleman, Mark Kraynak, XL certified, and Elijah Herbel. It is awesome to have you. We are a little tardy today. It is the first week of school. Cue up hot for the teacher because David Lee Roth also didn't feel tardy. So we're good to go. And getting closer to kickoff down in Arrowhead, where the Average Joe Road Show will be in the full RV in the Arrowhead parking lot, pregame, postgame, ready to rock and roll. We'll have the Boulder Peace Treaty on hand with us, with probably some portable grilling vittles.
Do we have to bring sides? Like, how's that going to work? Like,
we have got
we got to set up out. Yeah,
we have a tentative meeting set with the Snitley boys. At least I do at a watering hole near near downtown next weekend for Iowa State, Kansas State,
for logistical planning and
planning. I know there's so many Average Joes that are all over the country, and we love you that are going to be at Arrowhead. So we may need a head count. How many dogs and burgers? Because you know, the suit Rob is the one who secured a hotel for us as well. Elijah, it sounds like there might be a little golf for us. The Pride of Fairbury is going to be down there after class, of course. And Kraynak, are you going, or are we just commandeering you? Are we just going to show up like
definitely going,
like the movie Old School and just kidnap you out of a parking lot?
Getting the boy out of school early.
Okay.
You know, so he's getting out at noon, which I figure is enough time to get down there, beat the traffic, get to Arrowhead somehow.
So this is Thursday you're leaving.
Thursday taking off. When are you taking off?
Okay. We're going Wednesday at some point, Elijah. We have not yet determined, have we? So I just say this. We'll write you a Taylor Swift note, get out Wednesday, and make it happen.
But then I got to worry about transport between the Arrowhead parking lot and our hotel.
Well, we have Joe Mama's driving the RV. Elijah and I are driving separate.
Oh, so we have extra vehicles chilling.
We do.
Oh, okay. We got to chat.
Okay.
We got to chat. And somebody's Kobe in the stream heard you were bringing the potato salad, Mark. Absolutely not.
Kraynak, you are a gourmet. As long as I've known you, every place you've lived, you have whipped up an incredible breakfast after a long night, whether it be you or me at the casino or at a bar or at a wedding. There's always some sort of make you feel better in the morning casserole you've got going.
Well, if anyone's bringing potato salad, it's probably Grandpa Doleman down there in the corner in his rocking chair.
Doleman, where are you at? You look like you're at a detention center.
I am in the new location for the Average Joe Sports Show global headquarters.
Oh,
we are in the process of moving this weekend, so it's amazing what you find to work with, so that you can do this show, and live up to responsibilities. And the only thing I found to sit on was this like 150-year-old rocking chair.
They are the best.
So I got that. I got 3 moving boxes putting this together and an open window providing light. So that's how we're rolling this morning.
Casa Day.
Rocking and rolling, if you will.
Doleman. Yeah. I love it.
If you will.
Casa Day. Doleman. It's been a week.
Tiger Shark Diver says I look like I'm in Shawshank Redemption.
A little bit. Just don't be Brooks. All right. Let's hope the show goes better than old Brooksy.
And just before that, Nebraska Rascals talking about going to see David Lee Roth Wednesday night, game on Thursday. So David Lee Roth is actually performing still. Like
that
part alone.
I didn't know David Lee Roth was still alive. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Some nights he doesn't look it. David Lee Roth is 70. He's one of my favorites. He does not sound like David Lee Roth of 84 jump fame as we bring in.
I was going to say, is he going to do that? Like, might as well jump, might as well not, David.
Yeah.
Like, might as well just stand there.
Brandon Vogel is not here for the David Lee Roth hate. So we welcome in. No, but just David Lee Roth is a far cry. It's kind of like watching your favorite quarterback go out there 1 year too long, he hangs on in the NFL. Vogues, how are you? Counterread.com.
He's the Jim Plunkett of rock.
Plunkett at least won a Super Bowl into his late 30s.
That's true.
Vogues, how we doing? It's been a week, man.
It has. I'm doing well. Football's starting to feel close. So it can never be too bad when that's the case.
I know. We've got a week from today. It's week 0 with Farmageddon in Ireland. I hope to get back into a Nebraska-Notre Dame kickoff in Ireland someday. That would be a fun week 0 or pick a Big Ten opponent. We've got a ton to sift through, Vogues. You've got Dana Holgerson talking yesterday about the scrimmage. Dylan Raiola about, watching his brother at the rooftop of Barry's. That's because of NIL, baby, you can rent out the rooftop as a 20-year-old, which is cool. And it was Archie Mania this week, and just a lot of good vibes. I want to start, Vogues, with Archie, though, and just the global imprint Nebraska made this week, just through their punter. And you know what? If anyone gives Archie any crap, his big brother Sue posted last night, "I'm there for you," and Sue looks like he can still kill people.
Yeah, I found the moment pretty endearing as a father of young children. I was like, boy, I don't know if I'm on track for my son to ever to ever pull that off. So it was kind of a call to action of like, oh, you better turn things around here a little bit. But saw the clip. I'm sure a lot of people saw it of his family on the Australian Today show, and It was just a real heartwarming story, and it endeared him to a lot of people, as we saw from the response. And it's been a big week for the punter. I wrote on Monday, is this, before he'd even spoken, just after Matt Rule's comments a week ago, is this the most anticipated punting season we've had at Nebraska?
Yeah.
And it went 5x since then. So I really hope the guy comes out and kicks well in a little over a week, because that's about all we're missing at this point.
Well, just imagine the scenes at Arrowhead. Opening drive of the game, Nebraska's offense picks up a couple first downs. They're at the plus 47-yard line, 4th down and 3. And for once, everyone in the stadium is cheering to punt the ball and not go.
I mean, I think we might be approaching that. Any of those borderline decisions between the 40s, it's going to be like, let's punt. Let's see what Archie can do.
Of all the things we all pay attention to in football, we probably don't break down and follow punting as much as we do other elements of the game, right? So I may have missed it, but are there other punters in college who kick with both feet, who can throw and run like a 4.6 or 4.7? And what does this guy go, like 220? Isn't he kind of thick too? He's like good size. Is there anybody like him in college that we know of?
Not definitively, but just guessing, it might be the majority of punters at this point. I mean, when you grow up playing Australian rules football or rugby football, that's one of the things, that's a skill you need, is to be able to kick at least adequately. And we don't know how good he is with both feet. Is, his left foot 80% and his right foot 20%. So, I mean, it's amazing when you kind of look at the actual numbers of it, of the fact that Nebraska hasn't been here before, because a lot of college football already has. So, yeah, I think, in terms of specifics, I don't know, but just looking broadly, if you're bringing in that type of guy, That's what you're trying to get to, is the ability to roll out, delay your punts. If you can throw, you can't throw the football forward or the ball forward in Australian rules football, not like an American football. But so yeah, I don't think he's like a unicorn in that regard.
I know he's not when it comes to rugby style, but the ambidextrous part of it is what I was kind of referring to.
The Average Joe Sports Show research department has been feverishly looking into things here. Alex Mastromano from the Florida State Seminoles, also a pro kick alum, also from Melbourne, did punt with both feet. He just most recently went drafted, and I don't think it was signed by anyone in this last year's NFL draft. But he's the only person I can find that also is punched with both feet.
But again, not at the same time.
No, that would be incredible. Where he just like drop kicks it, with both feet.
The kangaroo kick.
Yeah.
Does Nebraska take a knee on 3rd and 1?
No.
And bring Archie in and see what happens. I don't think so. But there will be an audible roar and cheer. I mean, loudly if Nebraska fails to pick up a first down and Archie goes onto the field for the first time, and especially the first time at Memorial Stadium. It will be the most anticipated and well-received punter appearance, I think, maybe in Nebraska football history.
Those Cincinnati fans will be very confused when Nebraska sees the punter out in the field, and here comes 60,000
roar
fans.
I can't think of the last time I can think of this kind of anticipation for a punter was Darren Erstad. Who punted his last season, and it was like, I wonder if he's any good. And he turned out to be great and was a weapon in, the national championship season. The other thing about Archie, though, that nobody's really talked about, I would imagine he could probably lay a lick, that he's probably a pretty good tackler, that if somebody breaks contain and gets into the open field, Chris Brown was a pretty good tackler. Byron Bennett liked to mix it up a little bit. I would imagine you don't want to run into an Australian rules punter thinking, well, I'm going to score. He might lay you out.
Not today, mate. Not today. It's not going to happen.
That ain't a tackle. This is a tackle.
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for the Schmidt nickname here. I mean,
we've kind of come up with a few, and Vogues, I want your take on them. Archie, Australian for hang time.
Okay.
Me and Suitsy Kevin Suits in the hallway after I think Archie's debut. I don't know. I'm going to give Suitsy credit on that, but we were talking about whatever for beer, right? The old Foster's commercial.
Yep.
We had in the stream earlier this week, Thunder from Down Under, that received some rave reviews and also some. Hold on a minute. That's a male strip club.
I know. I feel like that's been used before.
Yeah, punt. So punt that.
I still like that one. Let it be known. I still like that one.
The kangaroo, not the kangaroo, but the crocodile punter is the other. So
he better perform. You know what?
Crocodile punter.
Yeah, crocodile punter. That was like first day of class. That's way back in the.
No, but I mean, and Tiger Shark Divers seconding that. Vogues, do you have an idea at all? I mean,
yeah, I do. It's not going to be popular unless you're preparing for the SAT. But I went with the ambipedal Aussie. It's not ambidextrous. that involves only hands.
Oh, you're right.
And
sorry, you're right.
Is the feet. So it's alliterative. I'll give you that, and you might learn a new word.
I would just love to hear Gus Johnson scream that on Big Noon Kickoff.
That's my new goal. That's my new goal, actually. I'm going to start tweeting at him.
Just make sure it's pedal AL, not O on the end. Yes. You don't want anybody to think, no. That would be bad.
Or they got to make sure they don't use that graphics department that misspelled Michael Penix's name the other day.
Hey, did they mess up the X there?
Yeah, with an S.
Come on.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Well, we're back to feet.
That's intentional.
Show.
That's
All right.
intentional. That's a graphic.
Hey,
that is a Chiron guy that did not get paid enough.
That was a disgruntled employee.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing too. The long snapper, Nebraska's got a new long snapper, Kevin Galick. Is it Galick or Gallick? He's got to be on. So, I don't care left or right, but the snap's got to be good. And if he drops the snap, it just is all for naught. But
Yeah.
so you got a new punter, new long snapper. They better be good buddies.
Yeah.
So we also experienced Eckler Vogues. We experienced a 5-star commit last night. We experienced alternate uniforms. And at some point today, Nebraska will experience scrimmage 2. Want to maneuver that way. And Dana Holgerson laying out that, well, I don't know if the fellas can sustain a drive. There's been some explosive moments, but can they snap and stay on the field and get, 8 plays stacked? And can you put an 8-play, 80-yard drive? And Bill, you put it perfectly yesterday, the vintage Nebraska march. We all have favorite drives and favorite games, with Nebraska going 7 plays, 80 yards, 8 plays, 90 yards, touchdown to take control. You've been a big research and write guy, Vogues, with the drive summaries, the starting field position. But that really does separate college football teams from good to great, from playoff to bowl, from 500 to fringe postseason. Can you have a consistent offense? Can you stay on the field?
Yeah, when he said that yesterday, I kind of gasped a little bit. I was like, "Oh no," because that was a big that's been a big issue for this offense. It could it could move the ball, and place kicking hurt because kind of a little bit both of the past 2 seasons, they get down there and 3 or 4 games in, you didn't feel totally confident about your kicking game. So I think that changed probably some of the decisions that Nebraska made. And this is also kind of one of the hallmarks of a Holgerson offense. When I kind of went through and did a deep dive on okay, well, what's the profile of him? And one of the things his offense has traditionally been good at is a number called available yards, which is just like if you start at 25, you got 75 total yards available. Like how many of those do you pick up on average? You can pick up 60, you've got 80%. His offenses have been really good in that. And I was like, okay, this is kind of what Nebraska needs is you got to lose those 3 and outs, because even with the good defense, you had to think about like the strain, to use a Bob Diaco term, you're putting on that group. If you go 3 and out in terms of field position, in terms of getting back on the field. So I lightened up a little bit when Holgerson later said, he's like, look, we just haven't had many periods where we've tried to go, down the field for a 70 or 80-yard drive. So I'll be very interested in what the results are to the degree that we get to hear about them. Because I think this is one of the key aspects of can they be better at, not just sustaining drives, but pick up a first down or 2 before you have to bring out the Ambipede Aussie. And that would be a significant leg up from where they've been.
Is that a unintended leg up?
Yeah, I think it was legs up. Yeah. And chew some clock. If you look at a lot of Nebraska's late losses, or a lot of their losses by a single score, just their ability to chew clock would have been enormous. You're talking about just 1 extra first down, maybe 2, if you're getting greedy. It feels like they've brought in the types of guys that can handle that just from a run blocking perspective, and that they have an OC that doesn't appear to try to get too cute. Yeah. Doesn't Dana seem like the guy that if you have the lead, 7 minutes left, he's going to run some inside zone, some outside zone. He's going
Dana's to anti-cute, isn't he?
Down. Yeah, it just feels like he's more than happy to sit on the ball if you need to.
Well, that's what I said yesterday. Instead of chasing 3 last year, Nebraska needs to be chasing 2nd down and 4, 2nd down and 3, getting 5+, getting 6 yards, and especially I don't think a lot of people have had confidence in Nebraska's offense inside the 20. Once they get to the red zone, you're already thinking, well, they're probably going to have to kick. Well, they're not going to kick, but is there confidence that they can? I mean, the field's shortened, so Raiola, whoever the quarterback has been, has not been able to stretch the field, and everything gets shorter in terms of routes, and they've not been able to get those 5 and 6 yard gains on the ground, and so you just get pinched that offense, and nothing happens, and then you miss a field goal or something. Raiola's got to have confidence in receivers to make quick throws, on quick routes, and get the ball in the end zone and make catches there. Or Nebraska can march from the 20 in the red zone, 6 yards at a time, 5 yards at a time, and not have Jacques Yant trip over a guy at the 4 yard line when they've got it 1st and goal from the 5 at Minnesota a few years ago. I think the confidence level of Nebraska scoring in the red zone and sustaining red zone drives is really minimal. And that just comes down to the simplicity of the game. 5, 6 yards at a time, you're eventually going to find yourself in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, down in the red zone, I think play design and call, and then like quarterback execution really become highlighted. Like, and if you're throwing the ball for sure, like if you're good enough up front or running back to just kind of pound away for those final 18 yards or whatever it may be, good for you. But not many teams have that big of an advantage over, certainly when you get into conference play. So it'll be interesting. I mean, it's great to have a Randy Moss or, a freak tight end that you can just be like, well, we'll just go there and count on him to do it. I don't know. I think Nebraska's roster offensively is certainly upgraded, but I don't know that they have those guys, at least not yet.
Brandon Vogel with us here on Counter Read, counterread.com, at Brandon L. Vogel on Twitter. And Vogues, I want to just get a quick thought, one more thought from Dana with his appearance yesterday. And it kind of ties into Dylan Raiola's comment about, he was asked about, all right, how you feeling and what's your body weight at? As we were sitting there in the media room, and he's like, I feel good. He feels mobile in a good way. And I want to go back to the red zone and just also what he said Dana told him, and that's just go play football. Do you think there can be a freedom at quarterback, a free spirit at quarterback in the red zone? What I mean by that is just the ability. Well, Nebraska had the ability to just go do whatever it takes in the red zone. If they can run it in, great. If they got to use the quarterback in the red zone on the move, so be it. You think there may be an element to that this year with the offense, but the comment of just go play quarterback, and to me that is quintessential Dana just saying, brother, don't have analysis paralysis going on. Just go play.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of factors there. One, that's kind of the air raid ethos coming through a little bit. No matter what plays you're actually running and what you want to call it, like that's where Holgorsen came from. Hal Mumme at Iowa Wesleyan famously didn't have a playbook. Like they practiced plays, but there was no like turn to page 44. Texas Tech, Leach said at a certain point he didn't have a playbook, and think about what that means in comparison to most of college football, which is, essentially this war game where somebody from up high diagrams out what you're going to do, and then the troops go and do it, right? This is like, oh, yeah, we practice this stuff. We trust you to kind of do what you need to do. So there's that. And there's also, I think, just the second year for Raiola, which isn't necessarily as much about experience, though that's important. And I don't know, I've never heard him talk about this, but you can only assume as a 5-star guy, as the son of a very, very well-regarded Husker coming in, the pressure to like show that kind of one, that ranking is merited, and also lead a team as a first-year player. None of that adds up to just go out there and play to me. Now You've been around the guys. You've been in the games. You've got some new coaches that you seem to connect with. All of that does add up to a little bit more freedom. So if that's what you're actively hearing from your offensive coordinator, yeah, I do think I would expect to see a little bit. Just go out and play, man, from Raiola in a way that I don't think it would have been very hard to get to that level last year.
Yeah, and you got better coaching at receiver, presumably, to help with that. Raiola did not get a lot of help in that department last year, despite the, I think, level of transfer that Nebraska got. I think Jamal Banks could have been much more productive. Seems like, God, why am I forgetting his name already?
Nair.
Yeah, seems like Isaiah Nair could have been more of a contributor, but doesn't seem like those guys were challenged too much. Doesn't seem like they were held accountable too much. Dana called that out right away when he's just like, these guys, it's embarrassing. They can't even block. Like, rah.
You're big
right?
kids, for Christ's sake. Go kill somebody.
Might as well hit somebody. Right. So I don't think you combine all that. Raiola didn't have too much of a chance. But they've reworked that room. And it just seems like law of averages would say, do we expect an Isaiah Hunter, Dane Key, and Cortez Mills all to hit? Hopefully. But even if one or two do, that's fine. You don't even need all
Barney's
three.
Going to hit.
Yeah,
But
Barney's likely to hit. Yeah.
Go back to last year, though. You had a wide receivers coach. God love him, nice guy, but he's as old as Banks and Nair to begin with.
I know.
They're coming in and going, this is who I need to listen to. I'm not sure there was that player to coach respect that had been earned. It was like, he's just kind of one of us, I guess. This is our guy. And then again, and I've talked about it many times, for Dylan Raiola to come in and basically be told, hey, you're our leader, go be our leader, when you got to learn to lead. Not everybody has that innately. Tommy Frazier had it. There was something about Tommy that when he got put into that sixth game against Missouri in 1992, there was just something that those guys were sparked by his presence and leadership. Never a team captain. I've talked about that many times, but he had a little bit of a presence. To tell Dylan, you're a 5-star quarterback, that means you have it, when he doesn't have it and hasn't earned it. That's a difference. So those receivers are working with a true freshman and a guy who looks like a true freshman. you would think now that, Key, having coached at Kentucky, the position, especially being Shorts, being Dane Key's coach at Kentucky, being a Dana Holgerson protege, and now that Dylan's been around for a full year at the same school for the first time in his career, that those guys are coming in and going, okay, we've seen what you can do. We understand who you are. We've gotten to know you in the offseason. That leadership, chemistry, relationship type thing ought to be there, which was forced on Nebraska last year. Now it should be a little bit more natural.
Mm-hmm. I know that is the hope. And when we forward on to, because look at Tiger Shark Diver in the stream saying, if we lose to USC, I'm declaring war, rivalry war. I was there in 2006. Same. Went all the way out there just to watch Callahan sit on the ball and try to get out there without being embarrassed. This time around, pretty bold. All right. And I know Brandon's a big uniform guy. Bless you for that.
I just told Tim on Twitter that we weren't going to be complaining about the uniforms this morning.
We're not complaining about uniforms, but we are going to dissect them completely irrationally. So Nebraska's going with the Nebraska's going. Yeah, Bill's not going to have any part of this. Nebraska's
Bill's doing a public service. They got to get the dog out.
But Nebraska's going with the blackout, right? Which I think out of all the alternative uniforms, no, not yet. No, we're going to break this down mercilessly. We're not going to criticize it, or Bill's out again. But listen, the black pants, the black jersey, the white helmet with the black N and the black stripe. The closest to, what is that, 2014 UCLA, if I'm not mistaken, which I think is the cleanest, best alt uniform that Nebraska's had. But they pick in particular the game against USC which is probably going to have the most talent on offense that Nebraska will face this year outside of Penn State. I think that's probably fair to say.
Yes.
The thing that concerns me about that is you're going all in on the black shirts ethos. You're going all in on like back in black. It's the blackout, black shirts. And you're doing that against probably the best offense you're going to face. If Nebraska gets worked in those uniforms, will Nebraska ever wear alt uniforms again?
Probably.
We've gotten worked in a lot of alt uniforms, and they still do it.
Yeah. Because as Dylan Raiola got up there and said, I think he was maybe coached to, hey, get up there and say something nice about these uniforms. The kids will always like them, and that's kind of become my defining character. Yeah. But I figured you guys would probably ask about this, and I was worried. This might be my last show because I'm about to get excommunicated from Husker Spaces. I like the fact that there's no red.
Yeah,
I think it's very 1988 Permian Panthers Friday Night Live or Friday Night Lights vibes. They're like in some ways, and we've seen a lot of bad alternate uniforms for Nebraska that we're trying to be like, okay, it's an alternate, let's be different.
Like the Noid ones. Come on.
This is the complete opposite of like, no, it's just a regular uniform, black and white. That's it, black and white. Kind of literally and well, not kind of literally and figuratively in that there's not a lot of bells and whistles, none of that. So I'm a fan of the look. Now, if you go out and lose, that's always the risk you run when you kind of hold up the alternate space. And I think Nebraska's been right to do that. They've tried to be respectful of like fans and tradition of like, we're going to do this maybe once a year in that way. But the problem is when we can kind of all go back to, what was it, 2014 or 2013, the first year that they have one, and be like, oh yeah, they lost in those. They won in the nice white ones against Northwestern. Anytime you depart, like it stands out, and if you don't win, it stands out in the wrong way.
Stank Neuter with the question of the weekend.
He says, "Why do we keep blaming playing like bleep on what we are? Well, okay, we can say that, huh? Playing like shit on what we were wearing. It's true. Nebraska has found a way to lose in whatever kind of uniform. Right? Like they also lost
that damn red end that keeps being the hex.
Yeah, they lost a lot in the traditional reds, the traditional whites. Nebraska is the common thread has been losing.
The people in the uni, or the guys in the headset sending the people out in the uni.
I will say with this jersey, I wish it still had the tradition patch that they always wear on the jersey, a tradition of winning. That's not on the jersey. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that. I thought that would have been a nice little tiny splash of red to add. That being said, I don't care. Just don't let Watt Fillier go off for 200 yards on you while you're wearing black.
You can't wear that patch in an alternate uniform because it's not been a tradition of winning.
No. Tradition of playing the sport. That's really all it is.
What's your take here on Torrey Pittman? Well, we got you here. I know you got kid duty coming up, but
no, we got to do picks. We have to do picks.
I think we have to Terry.
Well,
yeah, we got to slam it all in next weekend, don't we?
Oh my God. Okay, this is getting stressful.
Okay.
This is getting stressful. We're running out of time to get our picks done. I did this whole spreadsheet.
I know.
It's just okay.
Vogues, are you down to give us your predictions as well next week?
Season? What are we predicting?
The whole
record just for Nebraska?
Game by game.
Yes.
Game by game.
Okay.
Let's at least get a few from him. I'm just worried about logistics here and running out of time and not getting all our predictions in.
We can get the first 3 games from Brandon so he's caught up.
We already got those. Oh yeah, we don't even have those yet.
No.
Oh my God. Do that now.
Folks, what's your time on? I need a Torrey Pittman take real quick from Vogues. Kraynak, pull up the sheet.
That's fair.
Yeah. Big for Nebraska to get one of those in-state ones. There's a lot of good players. There's going to continue to be a lot of good players. And it's not like the old days, I think, where you felt like there was a brick wall around what should be your recruiting territory. particularly for a school like Nebraska, where it's the biggest game in town. It's not Alabama, Auburn, it's more like a chain link fence, and people are going to continue to come into Nebraska. They're going to continue to get players out of Nebraska, and you get a little bit of nervousness around where Nebraska has been in terms of some of the in-state guys who are going elsewhere and where they're going. So to land one was important, I think, from an optics perspective. Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, the guy can play a ton too.
Yeah. He and I said this yesterday. It's a bridge very far, but body type wise, I mean, the way he plays against the run and takes away the football. I mean, I think of Mike Brown.
Yeah, I think that's, obviously we have a lot more to go on with Mike Brown. We know where he went.
Yes, we do.
But like in terms of, could I see it when I flip on the highlight film? Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
You're talking about the recruiting of the best players in the state. In rules now 3 classes, and I might be off on my math here, but hasn't Nebraska been able to get the best player, the best
and the most highly recruited?
Right. I mean, if you got Carter Nelson, Christian Jones, and I guess Pittman, and I'm trying to think who Pittman would be next year. But they've done really well in getting the guy. And even when Dylan Raiola initially said, I'm not coming, they went and picked up a 4-star in Danny Kalin. And then we all know how that turned out. But, you're going to lose players. But if you can get the best of the best of what people consider to be the best, that's pretty good. You're not going to have we got this guy, but we missed on. They pretty much nailed down the most highly regarded recruit and fought off a lot of prominent schools to keep them. That will have a domino effect.
Pittman's list, Vogues, was insane. I mean, LSU, SC, Notre Dame, Miami. Like the only school I didn't see on there, and correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see Texas. And I didn't see Bama, but I saw about everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. This kind of came up in one of our threads at Counter Read, but we don't have an official 2 deep yet. But it's kind of interesting. Like, I don't think Nebraska is going to have a native Nebraskan starter on defense, and I haven't gone back through the rosters to look at it, like how long it's been since that was the case. But just thinking back, like the last 5, I can kind of flip through in my head. Like it's been a bit.
Yeah, that is interesting. But they're stockpiling from the state in the secondary, especially. It is not a bridge too far to think that Pittman, Benning, and Donovan Jones are going to be starting at some point here soon, whether that's next year or the year after. So if you have 3 of your 5 DBs hailing from the state, not bad. And I don't think you've had that since like Lornell McPherson, Jarrell Pippins, right? I think you have to go way back. If they were even on the same secondary, I don't even know.
Well, and you still have the fight for the right tackle spot with Teddy P fighting the good fight here with scrimmage 2 on the offensive line. So you may have an option. Brandon Vogel with us. Vogues, let's get some predictions.
Are we seeing the screen here? Okay, here we go. So Brandon, this is a very complex and sophisticated spreadsheet here. We're just going to add a 1 into the columns that you think are going to be a win, which will help us add up with the formula at the end of the season. I'm not showing the full season here right now, but we've already done Cincy, Akron, and Houston something, and just kind of want to know where you stand, and let's go game by game. So Cincinnati, Thursday. It is 12 days from today. Season opener, Arrowhead Stadium. What you got?
Yeah, I've been since kind of taking a look at Cincinnati in the spring and following along a little bit since they're the first opponent up. I'm a little nervy about this game for Nebraska, but I do think they'll get the win. I think ultimately the neutral site crowd might help there, but I'm expecting it to be close. So I would have Nebraska somewhere like 31-28 in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Is
Akron
it-
in Houston something, I think you can go ahead and just put those down as ones for me as well. If Nebraska loses one of those, I might decide to hike the Appalachian Trail this fall instead of following football.
And then there'll be the Average Joe's volleyball show after
Yes.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we realize we haven't even gotten into the conference season yet. Y'all are confident that next Saturday we're going to be able to get through the remaining 9.
We will.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kevin wants
right.
us to pick the Michigan game today.
That's what I'm saying. It's
we
can go
will.
ahead
We
and
will
just do that.
We will spend time pinataing Michigan here in a moment. Vogues, are you surprised before we get you out with the NCAA and Michigan?
No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't expect there to be. I didn't expect much stronger than what they got. And I generally agree with the NCAA's position of like, look, the postseason bans. I mean, and this was always the case. They used to do it. So in a lot of ways, people are like, well, that's what you used to do. But postseason bans for people that aren't there are just like sucks for the kids. Sorry, but we have to make it hurt some way. So kind of replacing that with a fine that roughly equates what 2 games of postseason revenue would be, I think is a decent enough workaround. I mean, yeah, there's some scholarship restrictions, some recruiting date losses, but ultimately, like, it's the most damage here, and it's already been happening. I think this just kind of brings it back up. Is just the public opinion on it. Like, if you're not a Michigan fan, you're gonna look at those seasons with a bit of skepticism. And in some ways, like, I know it doesn't impact them whatsoever, but in some ways, putting the show cause in place for Harbaugh and Stallions solidifies that. It was like, oh no, like, we thought this was serious enough that these guys could not come back and coach in college football without going through an entire process. So in that point, like, I didn't feel let down or surprised or disappointed by what got meted out, because I kind of already thought that the heaviest weight here for the Wolverines was just increased damage to the public reputation of what was a really remarkable 3-season stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Vogel with us from Counter Read, counterread.com. Vogues, what's on the docket today for Counter Read? And next week, what are you and Aaron Sorensen rocking? Of course, volleyball, the alumni game today.
Yeah, so we'll have some stuff coming up next week from the volleyball scrimmage. I'm pretty intrigued by this new alumni scrimmage. So excited to get some stuff going from that. I think for my Monday newsletter, which is kind of my traditional spot, I'm going to look at some. Been collecting some unconventional kind of over-unders. Like, how many total touchdowns do we think Heinrich Harburg's going to have this year?
Nice call.
Things like that coming on Monday.
I got 4.5 for HH.
I think that's about where I'm landing.
I was going 5.
Under.
So,
I don't know. He's got a nose for it, man. He's
the old Heinrich cat inside the 5.
Okay, we're at 5. Does he score passing, rushing, and receiving?
Total. I think he could. Yeah, all 3. He might have 1 passing this year, but I think he might be 1-to-1 on the ratio with rushing to receiving.
I got 1 passing, 2 receiving, 0 rushing, 3 total touchdowns.
I think we're going to get a Harburg hat trick against Houston something. Putting it out there right now.
T-shirt time, Mr. Kraynak.
You got to believe that if Nebraska is going to do the brotherly shove, it's going to be Harburg under center. I would think that he could probably still take a snap from center, and then you're going to have Judy playing the fullback spot or something, and that they're not going to do that with Dylan, but it's entirely possible that on a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and goal, that's where you're going to get that play, and it's Harburg who's going to take it and drive. That's your rushing touchdown.
That's a thought. I like that thought, actually. I hadn't thought of that.
What I do.
Give me Harburg on a linebacker on a crossing route from like the 20. He's outrunning whoever's on him. He run all the other action to the other side. I think he might score a lot this year.
Okay.
He's a weapon. A straight up weapon.
Harburg on the spider 2-eye banana out in the flat.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Vogues, appreciate you greatly, brother. We'll let you get back to your morning, and thanks for joining us as always, bud.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
There he is.
Appreciate it, Brandon.
Brandon Vogel with us, counterread.com. Get subscribed this season to their incredible coverage of Husker football, volleyball, all things Big Red. Weekend edition here of the Average Joe Sports Show. Like and subscribe on YouTube. We're on YouTube 7 days a week. Live tomorrow, Sunday live at 10:30. Mark Kraynak, that invite's always there for you for a Sunday live.
Appreciate it.
He's
Might
like,
be there. Might be there.
Bill Doleman in the midst of a move that will break any hex, curse, or frustration once Bill Doleman's in a venue.
Schmidt, well, you're laying out here. How was Frozen last night?
You know, I survived it.
What'd you do?
I took my nieces to Frozen.
What? Like a is it a movie? A new movie?
No,
or
it's
a play.
It's Broadway. It was the lead center.
God.
Hey, it was the most expensive and wonderful tasting triple vodka tonic last night. As I walked in the door, the bar was open. I said, I need one of those. And I bought my little nieces, little Evie, little Ella, little Josie, little Josie. I didn't buy them triple vodkas. No, I did not. I bought them Shirley Temples, you freaking savages. The buddy went with me, and Uncle Mark came down from Gretna. So yeah, it was fine.
Well,
did you sing "Let It Go" when it started?
Several times, yes.
Did the whole crowd sing it? Like at that point, do the people on stage just hold the mic out so that everybody else sings it?
It wasn't karaoke.
Okay.
Get this. I told you I had a 6:45 tea time last night.
Yeah.
We played 5 holes in 2 hours.
Because of the crowd?
Yeah, it was an absolutely ridiculous golf experience.
That can happen. That can happen.
And I played like hell anyway, so I guess it didn't really matter. The faster I got out there, the better. But it was
too much
Bill,
time to think about
you moved. Kraynak, what'd you do last night?
God, what did I do last night? Went out. We had actually went to an establishment in.
Mama in town?
Can we? Yeah. We're looking for a place. Yeah, we're trying to find a new spot. Yep, might be moving in with Bill. How much extra room you got?
Got an extra bedroom.
Global headquarters. I figure there's going to be amenities like free snacks and all that. That's what a lot of the companies are doing these days.
It's like a Delta lounge in the airport.
Yeah. Delta 8, you said? Okay.
That's his Denver residence.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Just want to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can mention the name, although maybe if we mention them, they'll be one of our big sponsors of our spreadsheet. It's possible. Cunningham's.
Yeah.
Old Mill.
Yeah.
So if y'all don't know how they roll, like there's not a lot of spots in town that do this, but their wings, they're smoked, right? They smoke the wings, then they grill them, then they toss them in the sauce. And some of the sauce that they have a PBJ, right? Which is Thai peanut sauce with like jalapeno jelly.
Yeah, no, they're incredible.
Yeah. So did a little bit of that last night, which was good. So yeah, anyways, if they would like to sponsor, they are more than welcome to sponsor.
Give them a shout.
And we'll eat smoked wings on the show every single time. Every single time.
Well, tell Mama hello.
Oh, absolutely will. We'll do this. We'll do this. Mm-hmm.
I made an admission on the KFOR morning show. We were talking about weddings, and I still have Kraynak's and Aubrey's wedding gift and wedding card here.
No thank you card for you. We just got our photos back last night. We're going to send out the thank yous with photos.
I feel like
there's nothing to thank you for right now.
A-hole.
Why don't you open it for him right now?
because it's on the nightstand in the other room, and I dare not walk into the while the bunny's sleeping. Otherwise, I'll have a gash in my neck.
Smart. Smart. Yeah.
So I'm that guy. God love you both. Glad she's in town.
Mark, you'll get that gift in Kansas City.
Yeah, perfect. RV delivery. We'll take it.
Funny. That's funny.
We'll take it. So the RV in Arrowhead is going to be the center of gravity. Is that right? Like that thing's going to be parked right near the stadium, and then outside of that's going to be the tables and the spread, and like that's home base.
I don't know. I know that the loop around Arrowhead and Kaufman, gate 1 or 7, is where the RV parking is. It's first come, first serve. So Elijah and I have mobile ability to be doing shows while en route. And I don't know when the gates open. It's like 4.5 hours supposedly. Now, if it may be different, we don't know all the logistics. And if there's a listener out there that can help us, that's wonderful. But we're in a hotel right across the interstate that has RV parking, so we're good there. We're there a day early. We'll be fine. We'll end up tweeting out and using some socials to let you know where we're at. We're going to get as close to Arrowhead as they'll let us in reference to the RV.
Yeah, fair. That's solid. And then stay in for the Royals game too. Rinse and repeat for the next day, or is the RV got to hit the road?
The RV will do pre-game, post-game, and then Elijah and I got invited to an incredible golf course down in kind of the Kansas City region, Elijah, by a wonderful Average Joe listener.
Humble brag.
So we're gonna go play. We're gonna go play some golf between the KFOR morning show Friday, and likely end up doing the Average Joe Friday edition from the country club. That's the plan.
Oh, wow! Okay.
Thank you for that invite, Trevor. If you're out there listening,
yes, Trevor, we love you.
Yeah.
So the RV is just the Thursday thing.
Gotcha.
What happens with all of these plans? How much do they get blown up if Nebraska loses to Cincinnati?
Why are we going there?
Well,
I'm just saying, it's like everybody's planning. Oh, this is a vacation check. This is a vacation check. If Nebraska loses to Cincinnati, it's DEFCON.
Well,
it's gonna skyrocket.
This may be the worst. This may be the worst loss feel that you have had as a Nebraska fan, because you've been patient, you've been reserved, but as it typically happens this time of year, your hope and the hype continue to kind of grow like that bamboo that gets watered, right? And listen, Ireland was crushing and set a bad tone for the rest of the season. You know that the Hail Mary was crushing with BYU. It was just a weird start to the year. You know, the Mother Nature, let's blow up the Akron game, and Frost's first one was screwy. That wasn't a loss, but you didn't get to play. So this could be worse just because of what you've spent, who you've got, what your staff's like, and quite honestly, the believable vibes you have from all the coaching and players. They all sound the same, where they're just waiting to be unleashed. I mean, they're always going to say the right things, but it's believable this year. That's the difference.
And I think
to
there's also that feeling out there among Husker fans. I think there's a real undervaluing for what Cincinnati is. I think people see Big 12, they see the record last year, and they go, that's a pushover. Cincinnati.
I don't think they're a pushover at all. I just think Nebraska's offense may be that good.
I'm not saying from you. I'm just saying as I watched through our stream over the last couple of months, there's a lot of people that absolutely say Cincinnati is going to be a joke. You need to go beat them by 30 points. That is not the type of football team Cincinnati is. I think Nebraska should go out and win the football game. I think with the money you've brought in to put together this current roster, the 5-star quarterback you have, the money you've invested in your coordinators, Yeah, Nebraska should rightfully be a 7-point favorite going into this football game, especially with I know it's a neutral site, but the home field advantage that you'll have. That being said, Cincinnati's got a great quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. They went in and got a skill influx at their skill positions offensively. Their front seven's no joke. Like, Cincinnati's a team that it's an absolute litmus test of if Nebraska wants to go out and achieve the goals that they have set out for themselves this year, they need to go beat Cincinnati by 10 to 14 points. That's kind of where I'm at with, if you can go out and do that, yeah, you're in line to have the type of season that we think is possible around here. But it is that litmus test because they're not a joke.
Go survive them. Go survive them. And I think if you get out alive, I think that'll help you so much this season.
I mean, how much is this worth? Who knows? But the ESPN preseason Big 12 rankings from a couple of days ago has Cincinnati 13th. I'm not doubting what you're saying, Elijah. I know you've looked it up, and I know they got some legit dudes and some guys that are coming back. But on the whole, the people that have looked at the Big 12, top to bottom, 13th out of 16th. That's what we're talking about here. All right, so it's they're the equivalent of what? Purdue, Maryland.
They're better than
something
that.
like that within the Big Ten.
They're way better than that with their NFL talent on that team.
And we're talking about three guys in particular that have NFL talent.
Tight end, quarterback, defensive lineman. But it's not like what's returning didn't have I mean, they were at 5-2 at one point. Hell, they should have been an 8-win. They could have been an 8-win team last year. 8-9-win team. Tell me if you've heard that before.
But we're talking about, again, 13th out of 16th. And it's preseason ranking. It's grain of salt, but right, you got to be able to handle that. You got to be able, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying you should blow them out 50-0, but you need to be able to handle the 13th best team in the Big 12 or Big 10 or SEC.
Sure. Yes,
right? Like, just name the conference. Come on. Right. And I think that's where Nebraska fans will come unglued if you don't get that W.
David is right. Arizona State was picked last in the Big 12. And remember, they had a preseason. They had a preseason poll going into last year of Big 12 coaches, and Kenny Dillingham was ranked last in the Big 12 amongst coaches. I don't remember who did that poll, but Deion Sanders was next to last, and Kenny Dillingham was last. And what Colorado they had an 8 or 9 win season, and Dillingham goes to the college football playoff and wins the Big 12 championship. So, for whatever preseason polls there are, but I go back to that Northwestern game. There was a lot of feeling in Ireland. Well, Nebraska is just going to roll that game because, it's just Northwestern. And the onside kick aside, okay, forget that call. If you watch the second half of that game, they gashed Nebraska's defense by pounding the rock. And there's a famous photo. I use it in my classes. There's a famous photo from I shouldn't say famous, infamous maybe, from the World Herald that shows a gaping hole created by the Northwestern offensive line where you barely see Nebraska defenders on either side of the frame, right? Because they just gashed in the second half. I think they averaged like 5 yards per carry in the second half, and they just ran the ball like 31 times against the Huskers in that 2022 game. So people went into that game in Ireland thinking, it's just Northwestern. We're in great shape. We've got great strength and conditioning, on and on and on. Same thing last year. Florida State coming off a playoff, what should have been a playoff season, right, or whatever it was. But they were top 10, and they get smoked by Georgia Tech because all of the talk going into that game was Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Now, we did not know that Florida State had quit on Mike Norvell based on what had happened in the previous postseason. But there's that feeling of opening game, like, well, it's just kind of a foregone conclusion. And it can't be a foregone conclusion. And I would think Cincinnati has all the motivation in the world because they continually hear about ticket sales, right? That it's going to be 90% or more Nebraska fans. It's the Big 10 versus the Big 12 on everything. I'm not a big bulletin board material guy, but they have all kinds of ammunition if they want to use it to get motivated for that game on the 28th.
Well, and I know people are saying Cincinnati's not good. Nebraska's lost their fair share to not good teams. What did Schmidt? What did Gary Barnett say on Thursday when we asked him about Week 1 games?
They don't. The thing about Cincinnati that Barney talked to us about is they have been challenged by some good teams. The league, top to bottom, is good and balanced in the Big 12, and there's not a situation they haven't seen and dealt with. They've had some of those moments where they've come through in tight moments. Cincinnati has a year ago, and then there's moments how the season ended where they got on it sideways. So they're good, they're scary, and they aren't going to be intimidated.
And I'll reiterate here and just say, like, I think Nebraska should go out there and win this football game because of, again, how you've invested this offseason. Your talent to their talent, yeah, you should have the advantage there. But I think Cincinnati is good enough to be in the football game.
I expect them to be in the football game going into the fourth quarter.
And what does it come down to if it's a close game in the fourth quarter? It's those self-inflicted mistakes.
What's training? I mean, they spent all week, the last 3 weeks, talking about going back to your training, right?
And
Nebraska,
that's what I remember Barney talking about on Thursday was the fact that a lot of times those Week 1 close games look at LSU against USC last year. What did it come down to for them? Self-inflicted mistakes. They were the better football team than USC last year, but USC stings them in Las Vegas because self-inflicted mistakes. If Nebraska's turning the football over, if they're not cleaned up from a penalty point of view, if they don't have the tackling in check, like it's one of those scary moments where I think Cincinnati, despite the fact that you are the better team, can come in and sting you Week 1.
Well, is Nebraska going to get in their own way? That's how they lose this game in Arrowhead.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. That's the heart of my argument here. Is it's not Nebraska against Cincinnati. It's Nebraska against themselves. If you focus on yourself and go play out to the level you're capable of, you should be winning this game by 10 to 14 points.
The thing I'm worried about is you mentioned training. I'm thinking strength and conditioning training. That's for me is going to be the biggest determining factor in this game. If Nebraska strikes quickly and Raiola's on and Nebraska's, scores, a couple of touchdowns in the first quarter, let's say, but Cincinnati has it in its mind that this is going to be a 4-quarter slugfest, and they've got an offensive line that's confident in a running game that they can pound Nebraska's defensive line into submission. Go back to the Illinois game last year. Go back to that Northwestern game in 2022, where it's like, okay, yeah, Rabbit, get out there and get a big lead, but we are going to pound you and pound you and pound you to where you get worn down. You wear that Nebraska defensive line, which I think most people would agree is the biggest question mark on this team, is Nebraska's front. Robinson's gone, Hutmaker's gone, Van Poppel's sure he's back, but if they feel confident in running the football and staying within their game plan, not getting caught up with 90,000 or 90% Nebraska fans, the thing that worries me about this game is Cincinnati just running straight at Nebraska to where you're going to have those gaping holes in the fourth quarter, and Nebraska loses steam and can't stop them. That's my biggest fear, is the conditioning of Nebraska. Are they in good shape? Can they stop the run? Because I think that's what Cincinnati wants to do. They're not going to beat Nebraska in a 54-49, shootout. That's not going to happen. But I think that they would love to play it to a 28 or less. Neither team gets to the 30s, and if that's the case, it could be a bad night, not a long night, but a bad night.
Kraynak, where are you at on this, brother? You thinking a 34-24? You thinking a 35-21? Going to be a 28-21, 28-24. Do you got an early vibe here on
I got to dive a little bit more. Dive a little bit more into Cincinnati. It does feel like Nebraska is going to score more for some reason. I just think just the comfort in the offense. They're supposed to. I think Dane Key is sort of a Stanley Morgan equivalent, right? Not necessarily your deep guy, not necessarily huge plays, but super reliable. Makes the catch, contorts his body to make the catch. Right. I think Ja'Cory Barney's got a good shot to have a big year. I think Harburg's a weapon. I think Emmett's ready to go. Right. I just think offensively, Nebraska is going to be a little bit tougher to deal with than they have been for a long time. And then on defense, I like what you got in the secondary, and I like the athletes you have in the front seven, but I am worried about them getting gashed a little bit. And the quarterback that we're talking about, Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati, 6'3", 230.
Mobile.
Right? Big dude. And yeah, he went for a $143 against Iowa State on the ground last year, and he's a 65% passer.
Yeah,
so
he's
that
a problem unless you kick the hell out of him.
Yeah, so that part's a little worrisome, right? Of just like, the mobile quarterback, Nebraska can't handle the more mobile quarterback. Well, no teams can, right? That's right. Mobile quarterbacks are tough to deal with. But that's the kind of thing that can, even if Nebraska structurally is handling business, you got a guy like that's that big and can kind of go off script. That's where things get hairy, right? So a little concerning there. I don't know if you run a spy on him or just figure something out to prevent him from doing that. Do a mush rush like you did, circa VTech back in 2009 or whatever year that was on the road against Tyrod Taylor. But you got to figure something out. That Nebraska doesn't face a ton of those mobile quarterbacks. That's concerning in a week one.
Well, has everyone just forgotten here that this Cincinnati team, which improved this offseason in my eyes, beat the Big 12 champion and college football playoff appearance team in Arizona State last year? They beat them 24-14.
They also fell apart down the stretch.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the team had talent. They fell apart down the stretch, but they have the talent to go out and compete.
So you're asking me if they're going to be better coached. And you can ask that question for both teams because that's been the problem.
They do run this some of the coaching. By the way, the quarterback he's 10 to 15 carries a game, right? So it's not like he's mobile and just breaks out a couple times. That's a part of their offense. Mm-hmm. They do design stuff for him, and he can make stuff happen if nothing's open. And he's got that experience, and he's a 65% thrower, right? So Nebraska's got their hands full there. But when we bring up the fact that they have 3 NFL guys for this next draft, right? And they've had 17 draft picks since 2021, which I think is much higher than Nebraska's. We'd have to add it up, but I think Nebraska's only had 5, 7, something like that. Not had a bunch. But you got to figure on Nebraska's roster. I mean, couldn't we go across the offensive starters, defensive starters, and find 3 draft picks? I'm right, if not more, right? Let's go ahead and say Raiola is probably going to be one of those guys at some point.
Spindler.
Yeah, Spindler is probably one of those guys at some point. That's just on offense.
Corey Barney's getting drafted at some point.
Probably.
Defensively, you look at Riley Van Poppel. You look at
Davis.
Right. Look at Deshaun Singleton.
Right. It's just like Nebraska has more.
Shavers.
Yeah, Nebraska has more.
Archie Wilson.
McGee.
Right. I'm just saying, Nebraska has probably substantially more potential draft picks on their roster than Cincinnati does. And it's a week one, and you got a real partisan crowd. It's just, it's a team that's picked in the bottom half of one of the semi-power conferences. It's just it's tough to fathom. It's tough to fathom a loss there.
We've just seen over the last couple of years, and someone in the stream, I can't remember who it was, says you can't go back to 2016 with all this scar tissue you've seen in close games in Nebraska losing games they shouldn't. You can't until this team has proven that they have mentally moved on from all the scar tissue that Husker fans have and the teams have shown on the field. You got to keep talking about it. They need to go down there and win one of those games where it's close late for me to say, you know what, this team is different. This team has finally moved past all this close game trauma that we've seen in the last couple of years.
Well, who are the guys that has that PTSD dating back years? It's Marquise Buford.
We said the same. We said the same thing offensively. You looked at the offense last year and you said it's a new look offense. There's new talent in here. You've moved on from all that. And then what happens against Iowa? What happens against USC? What happens against Ohio State?
You still got Corcoran and Teddy around, and those poor guys been here since 2000. They've seen it all when it comes to how the wheels fell off.
So you got 4 guys left on the roster, right? You got Wright, Buford, Corcoran, Prohaska.
But it was
right about it.
2000 season.
Yeah, yeah.
there was a lot of new guys out there playing last year, and that's what we said last year was, well, with all these new guys, you've moved on from the scar tissue, and then you were still showing the same issues on the field that you've shown in years past, which is in tight ball games and winning times, you're screwing up, making mistakes, and handing the game away to the other team.
You had a putrid offense. You had substandard special teams. If you just get, you don't even need to be average. I'm just saying slightly below average. I'm just saying don't rank in the hundreds in either of those departments.
Don't be bad.
Right. Like you don't have to get a ton better to turn that entire season around. You have to get a little better. You have to maybe get a little field position advantage on special teams, right? You have to maybe pick up another first down or two. We're not talking about Nebraska needing to close some huge gap, right? Or it's not, they're not that far away. Or is that too optimistic? But it really does seem like that. You're not starting over. You're not, climbing out of some ridiculous hole. You're like becoming a competent punting team. You're able to run the ball occasionally.
You're able to return the ball, bud, with what Eckler's calling for.
Yeah, you're able to right.
Imagine the smoke.
Yeah, you're talking about having receivers maybe be able to beat man coverage like 3 or 4 times a game. It's not too much to ask what we're talking about here, right? So I would put it this way. Would you be absolutely shell-shocked if Nebraska loses week 1? I would be shell-shocked. I am fully expecting a W. Fully. There's not even a part of me that's like, no, this ain't happening.
I would be. It can happen, but I think it would be horrific. It would be absolutely horrific. It would be horrific for momentum. It would be horrific for the fan base. It would feel never ending from this isn't going to happen or work out. You would go you would go to that 180 extreme of not giving a crap about the season. I think that's how much hope and anticipation you have for this season because of all the changes you've made and all the investment you've made. You've went out to go make your program better with personnel and coaching. You're not going to get out coached, or God forbid you get out coached and outplayed and out physical and out executed in Arrowhead on Thursday night with 70,000 of your biggest friends and family down there.
Come on, man.
I mean, that would be DEFCON 1. I mean, it would be as bad of a opening season loss as you can have. It would be Florida State, Georgia Tech bad.
Well,
I honestly believe that.
Well, would I be shocked walking out of the stadium? No. Surprised, yes, but shocked. No. After everything I've seen in the last decade, I can't be shocked at anything the Husker football team does.
But it truly does. Stop me if you've heard this before. It truly does feel different, though, this year.
It does, and that's why there'd be surprise. But shocked, no. It'd be, shit, here we go again. That's what it'd be walking out of the stadium. Yeah, it's gonna be another one of those seasons, huh?
The main thing I don't want to see is second half wear down. That's the main thing on my mind is if this team is as committed to strength and conditioning and they got it right and they did work and it's not the prettiest team off the bus, right? That the
prettiest or grittiest team off the bus. I think there's some gritty to them.
I'd rather have the gritty than the pretty. And Nebraska during the Scott Frost era, people talk about, they look good, got them come off the bus. But once they got on the field, they were manhandled in the second halves of games. So to me, week 1, I want to see the defense hold up to what I think is going to be a running attack by Cincinnati. I think that they're going to be committed to rushing the ball 40 plus times, and they're going to try to wear down Nebraska's defensive front. That's the thing that I'm most concerned about with this team.
Well,
in the opener. And if they're loaded, if they're conditioned, if they got conditioning, great. They'll win the game. I think Nebraska's going to win the game, but we're going to find out if it has been a season of effect, an off season of effective strength and conditioning, that they're in shape and they can handle second halves of games and not get worn out.
Mark Kraynak, Bill Doleman, Elijah Herbel, Chris Schmidt, the weekend edition of the Average Joe Sports Show. Like and subscribe. Do so to YouTube. Keep those numbers growing. On Twitter, AJ Sports Radio. You see Bill Doleman on Twitter, at Bill Doleman. Your business name here. That's very funny, but very real of an opportunity for you. You want to join Mark Kraynak, Mr. Kraynak, the XL certified, and you can also get some product placement or swag towards Kraynak. You will wear a shirt, Kraynak. Yeah. Make it a tied jumpsuit like we're in NASCAR.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Elijah, you're open to hats. You love hats. They look good on you. So if you have a company that you want to send Elijah a hat, you go for it.
A hat, a shirt, a beer, something, whatever.
Hey, one more thing. Can we talk about something real quick here? Okay, and this is a couple weeks old now, but Mark Markaway is going to be out at tight end, right? Because of the ACL. Rule said his ACL surgery failed him. Remind me, did Markaway have that ACL surgery done here? Was that a Nebraska
Markaway's
surgery?
Had 3 done. He
so
had
one in high school, and then
one in high school.
And then he played a freshman year at LSU, came to Nebraska in his first or second practice, tore his ACL, had it repaired here, and then
same knee
failed first practice this year.
Okay. Notable, by the way, that rule would call that out. His ACL surgery failed him. You're like, that's not a ringing endorsement for Nebraska
we don't
staff.
I don't know if Markaway had it done here or he went home to where he had his first one done.
Well, and then who's the kicker from the Omaha area that is persona non grata now? Alvano, right? Tristan Alvano. And similar deal. He's got to get he's had to get something cleaned up. And from what I've heard, not here. So just something to note. I just think it's interesting that it's very interesting that rule would call that out. Very interesting that rule would say his surgery failed him, right? And then you don't hear about Alvano anymore. He just can we stop? Like Alvano was the starting kicker. You don't even hear about it. He's like third string now.
And still a battle technically for kicker.
It's just I don't know. They've reworked a lot of things, right? Nutrition program has changed, strength and conditioning has changed. I do wonder about what's going on with medical.
I'm not going medical conspiracy theory. That you see that Klay Thompson, didn't he have his ACL fail? Was it once or twice coming back? Whenever he had his whole 4 years out of basketball because of his knee injury, where I know he had an ACL fail him as he was coming back. So it happens. I'm not going to go conspiracy theorist just yet on the 1 to 2 thing.
I'm not going conspiracy theorist either. I'm saying noteworthy.
For the record, both of my ACL repairs have not failed, and I'm still operating as at a high level.
You're still operating from a rocking chair.
Yeah.
So you might as well jump. You might as well.
So I mine were done the old-fashioned and good old American way. So both of mine have been successful. But I also thought he was talking about Demetrius Bell. I don't think he went overseas or something, but didn't he go to Chicago to have it looked at again? And Bell got hurt in that same spring game, and as Bly Hill. And Hill got hurt again. Not that players don't have a propensity to get injured. That's a tough
kid.
one. Yeah.
And wasn't the new surface, the new turf, supposed to be all about preventing things like that? And I don't know. Injuries have been interesting. You
try and get going at full speed and change direction. turf, grass, whatever the hell, it's going to happen, unfortunately.
It is going to happen.
The stats will tell you there is minimal difference between artificial turf and natural grass when it comes to lower body injuries. That being said, the players prefer it. So you, as a coach, go with the field surface that your players prefer.
Yeah.
Adam says Doleman can still dunk. It is awesome to have our old buddy Dion back in the chat. Dion, good to have you, brother. Tuck, Captain is here. David is in. Bill, you are going to finish the Casa de Doleman move today.
Not good.
We'll see you a little later. Kraynak, tell Mama hello.
Got it. Yeah. 100%. Same.
And Elijah,
I'll be spending the rest of my day here today just worried about Cincinnati. Like, it's just,
you're welcome to pour a vodka and come over to the pool.
Actually, I do have the celebrity softball game this afternoon.
That's right. I guess I just kind of outed the fact that I'm not participating in that.
Celebrity.
Wow.
How are we here? Okay. Where are they going to put you at? You're going to play short?
I'm a second baseman at heart, so we'll see if they put me there.
Bigger second baseman. You're a bigger second baseman.
Yeah, I got
play first.
I got poor arm strength, but I got the ability to turn and fire back over to first.
I think you're Keith Hernandez.
I am a good first baseman. I'm a good first baseman. Judging a fly ball, but we got it's us with Alpha here at the radio station, our media partner 1011 News, and Lincoln Fire Department.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
So you'll fit in with the firefighters, you and the mustaches.
Okay, hold on. Make sure you make sure you play the game with honor. Okay, I played in a celebrity softball game against the firefighters one year. I remember Glenn Frent, who ran for mayor, was our second baseman in jeans and a button-down shirt under his game uniform T-shirt.
Jeans softball guy just killed me.
That was the kind of team we were playing, and I think we had some Salt Dog guys on our team, but we're playing this firefighters team, and they were loaded, and we were getting our asses handed to us, and just launching home run after home run over home run. I don't remember I think we were playing at Bowling Stadium but anyway, so I took a softball out. I was playing left field, and I had gotten a little, tired of seeing softballs. I mean, it's like 49-3 or something, literally. So I take a softball out to play left field and tucked it into my glove because I knew one's going to get launched over my head. So I go back to the fence on one that gets launched, and I reach up with my glove and I haul it back down, like Ken Griffey Jr. or something. Yeah. And I show my glove, right?
Oh, perfect.
And made the catch. Thought it was funny. It's kind of a celebrity softball game, right? Meanwhile, there's like a dozen kids piled on top of this softball that got launched like 70 yards beyond left field. Well, they called the guy out, and I thought I had launched World War III. I mean, they were pissed.
Yeah.
I thought the firefighters were going to come charge left field because of my little celebrity softball game joke. Yeah. They take it very seriously.
The firefighters have an advantage over the celebrities in that they have downtime in the station. What do? You lift
weights.
Yeah. You get rocked up. You're good to go. Like, there's not a lot of celebrities that are doing that.
I'm sure it was like 49-3 in the third inning or something. So one gets launched. I jump up, show the ball, flick it back in like Mickey Rivers. And, they were not happy.
No.
It's a hell of a catch, Doleman.
It was a great catch. It was a great looking fake catch.
The team we're playing against is actually the Lincoln Police Department. So we have to play with honor or else we'll go to jail. So
yeah, it's important too. Huh. Well, good luck, Elijah. Good luck, Elijah.
Thank you.
Put one out. Call your shot. Do a Babe Ruth thing.
I'm a line drive hitter. I'm not a home run hitter.
Okay.
I know myself.
You can hit line drive home runs if you want.
I can't. That's not my game.
like Jack Caglione, who I think is going to on assignment back in Omaha, is about to be.
Yeah, rehab assignment. Yeah.
Speaking of on assignment, our dear friend, the Iron Horse, Gary Sharp, on assignment this weekend. So we'll get back with Sharpie next week as we gear up for Nebraska-Cincinnati. Kraynak, invite tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
All right. Bill
Thanks for
Doleman,
accepting.
Elijah Herbel, Chris Schmidt will be back at you tomorrow, Sunday, live on the Average Joe Sports Show. Take care. Thanks for tuning in.
Average Joe's plus a celebrity. Godspeed.